Good time zone to you, my lovelies. It is a pleasure to have you all joining us here, whether it be morning, midday, afternoon, or if you're catching this in whatever capacity, in a VOD-like aspect. Welcome to continued BIPOC Vamp Day celebrations, BIPOC Vamp Jam, game celebrations, all of the things where we celebrate the mystique of those who wander in the night, or perhaps in the day if you have a different interpretation of the story, because we don't settle with just one story and one way to approach our fantastic, alluring beings of the night. But hello there, everyone. My name is Angela. I have a fantastic group of people here to join us as we here at Utopia are streaming for a fantastic cause. We're streaming for the Sickle Cell Disease Association of America, the nation's headquarters for sickle cell disease support, advocacy, and search for a cure. SCD is an inherited red blood cell disorder common among those with ancestry from regions like Sub-Saharan Africa, South America, the Caribbean, Central America, Saudi Arabia, India, and the Mediterranean. Those with the experience issues such as infection, acute chest syndrome, and stroke, and deal with a lot of other things that it would be very helpful if you have the means to do so, to donate over on Tiltify. We have a link over there, and perhaps even throughout the day you will see some minor bits of chaos and such be facilitated or enabled by that. Mind you, given the kind of table that we already have in pre-show discussions, I don't think we'll need too much to enable chaos. But, you know, a little bit of extra fun is good to have as a treat. Just as a treat. But so, I'm gonna go around the table and have everyone introduce who they are, if you would like to give up your character name, and pronouns you use. So we have a sense of who are the lovely names to attach to the lovely faces we have here already. So I will start. My name is, as I've said before, I'm Angela. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be playing medium. Excuse me, alarm. Why are you so loud? Sorry about that, everyone. If you happen to pick that up, pass it over to our fantastic Mariam.
Hey everyone, I am Miriam. I am definitely a nocturnal being and I lurk around here most of the time. And yeah, I do stuff in the TRPG spaces. I write games, I podcast, I stream. That's me. And I will be playing today a character whose parents loved the celestial body so much they named me twice Moon Moon. And I shall popcorn it over to the wonderful John.
Hi, I'm John, he, him. You can find me on internet, Sleepy. I know we're not talking about this, but I like to give my information out because I'm that perky person. I am playing Ether, he, him. Like vampires, I like when I go to sleep, I go into a torpor, and I can't be awoken.
Last but not least, our own fantastic Brandy.
I'm Brandy Rose. You guys will see me always on Twitter at the Brandy Rose. Too much, TBH. And that's where you can keep up with all the announcements for my streams and my podcasts. I will be playing the wonderful, very zen Luna today. I'm excited to figure out more about who she is as we play, and we use she, they pronouns both for my character and myself. And that's me.
Fantastic. We have our table arranged, but we require a game. So what game will we be playing? Well, we will be playing today with all of these lovely beings, as I believe our own fantastic Jess, Burst of Hope, would be inclined to say. We are playing De la Vida Vale. That is designed by, I believe it was Carmen Marin, and our own over at Diana Moon, who is fantastic. I've played with her before. She is a fantastic being of chaos, queerness, and goodness. But just to sort of introduce what the premise of all of this is, which I would like to sort of think of this game as, and I looked and beheld a pale horse, and their name that sat on them was Undeath, and love followed with them. Because this is a game about found family, about queerness, about exploration of such, of forging bonds that could work for or against you. As a heads up, there will be themes of things like polyamory, friendship, betrayal, gentrification, food, and more. So be mindful of such things as we get into them in the spur of the moment or throughout the course of play. If need be, feel free to step away, And if you feel you cannot come back, we understand. We appreciate any viewership you give, but always take care of yourselves. We have already established safety tools beforehand to take care of ourselves, and we as a table will do our best to take care of one another. So, getting into it, I will just happily read the little excerpt, and then we will get into instructions and such for going over our little setup. But, lovelies, you have fallen in love, in lust, in friendship, in something that no human palabras can describe. All you know is that you've happily and willingly, or so you think, bounded yourself to your reine. You've known for some time now that they are vampire. You also know you're not the only one your vampire is bonded to, and that's okay, usually. You're all trying to live together to make the best of your life on the precipice of becoming more, of having more than just one Vida. You all have agreed to become your reine's thrall, to better protect yourselves against a society that is becoming more oppressive and anti-supernatural. But your reine promises you can always choose to leave. Things have been good, almost great, nearly perfect. Save for what goes on outside of your little coven. It's the eve of a new regime, and you've all gathered for one last fiesta under the moonless night. Your reina knows something, but only says, no te preocupes. A decision is fast approaching you. Is this new life of yours worth living? Are they all worth sacrificing for? Bear that in mind, everybody. So now we move over, as we have our fantastic overlay and such, we'll note a card space where we will begin to read over instructions for everyone. So I suppose I spoke just a lot, so I'll pass it over to Mariam to read the first instruction card, and then we can go, I think, Mariam, John, Brandy, myself, to keep that order going, if that works for everybody.
Yeah. So the instructions are, take turns reading each line and card out loud.
Cards got shuffled. I'm trying to hunt down the second one.
Minor thing, the usual kerfluffle that happens during these moments. Don't worry, everybody.
I don't see two.
If you have the game text up already, you can also just read it from there as well.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
find the card as need be.
I'll do that.
Just sorry to keep things going, but we'll try and keep the cards going as best we can.
Oh, okay. We felt the weight of expectations for our whole lives because they risked everything to rise.
That might be a different card, actually.
Do you want me to just read all the instructions?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think,
I'm reading 2-1 instructions, so that must be something else.
yeah, we might have just had a slight snafu with the cards or something. It happens.
Yeah, the cards got shuffled. I don't know how. I'm sorry.
It is perfectly fine. We have minor production things. If you have the game text open, dear players, just read them in order. So John, number 2 on instructions, if you would.
Okay. What I was reading wasn't correct? Or sorry, because that's what I have.
Oh, that's not what I have, but that just might be me. I have the world you live in is at an uneasy alliance with the supernatural, but that might be me.
I may be looking at the wrong instructions. Sorry. I guess.
Oh, John, I think they mean on the playbook thing, like on the PDF for the game.
Oh, I'm clicking on the game instructions in Roll20.
Yeah, I am. I was doing that as well. It might just be a minor thing.
Well, just skip me this time while I try to figure out where I'm actually reading from.
I will just 1 second put it in our Discord, the entire instructions. So just give me 2 seconds. We are all professionals here, incredibly.
I mean, Bursa did note that we do sound very much like we are a con panel right now. And what is a con panel if not a moment of 1 or 2 people going, meh? It is the nature of these sorts of things.
So if you check out our thread, the instructions are posted there.
Okay, I see it now. You want me to go ahead and read again?
Yes.
The world you live in has had an uneasy alliance with the supernatural.
But
Randy?
there's been a yes, I can read. I have literally had it open in the PDF and I still clicked on the tiny window in the Discord and was like, I'm not wearing glasses. But there's been a regime change and the supernatural aren't as welcome.
Your reina has decided to have a fiesta, inviting the closest of their thralls, including you.
You're part of their family, the ones they trust and love implicitly.
You're here for a reason, but they've yet designed to say what it is. Thanks.
After reading the instructions, you may start pulling from the prompt deck.
Go around reading the prompts out loud and answering them however you're inspired.
Your fellow players can ask follow-up questions, but you don't have to answer them.
You can always X-card a prompt, question, or an answer. This is no longer part of the game. That is no longer part of the game.
If you X-card a prompt, you can draw another.
You can also instead pass the prompt to the next player to answer.
Continue answering, passing, or X-carding until the ending question card pops up.
Everyone answers this question, and our story will then be complete.
Whoever consumed a piece of vampire media last or drank a Vampiro may go first.
So what's the last thing we watched?
I watched Jennifer's Body 2 weeks ago. I don't know if she counts as like vampire succubusy thing, but that's, I think, the last adjacent thing that I had.
That's 2 weeks. Anyone beat 2 weeks?
I'm gonna cheat and say, well, I watched Ink It last night.
That's valid. That's fair.
That counts. I say Mariam goes. I made myself laugh from reading our own personal chat punnery. So this is already a good start to the day. Mariam, I think that means you're first, and then I think we'll continue that same order of Mariam, John, Brandy, myself,
Yep.
or Luna. So get that going for us.
All
Mariam
right.
with the first card.
So the prompt I have is, you no longer have love in your heart for your Rene. Who is it that keeps you from leaving? Oh, wow, we're starting off, right. Huh. Well, just our wonderful Rene. I no longer have love in my heart for them. I feel like it is the rest of us in our little circle that keeps me from leaving, because I have just come over time to love all of us together, being together. I think it's the first time I felt that this little kind of dark goth heart of mine was able to be basically a little Eeyore all the time, and people kind of respected it and also just were there to support or to give me space. So I don't want to leave, even though I'm a little over our beloved favorite vampire.
We're allowed to ask follow-up questions, right?
Yep.
When do you think you noticed that you didn't have the love for the Reina anymore?
I think it might have been perhaps several weeks ago. Whenever a new person joins our coven, I would always feel a little pang of jealousy of having to share, and I felt nothing. In fact, I was actually very, very happy because more family, more people to bond with, and that sort of decentralizing, that's when it hit me.
Did it feel like it became, before you fully fell out of love, did it feel like it started to become just being in love out of habit as opposed to loving them? Or do you think it was something that was strong at first and then just kind of faded?
I think it's this weird thing where I think it was sort of gradual, but I didn't notice until sort of the stressing factor of a new person joining and all of that sort of hitting me at once. And also literally when, I was in the way of our beloved and I kind of got smacked. Accidentally, of course. I believe that is me. Would like to go next.
I believe it is John's turn to go next. John, when you can pull out that card, replace the one that's currently on the board. She'll see what is next.
What does the coven do that makes you feel loved? That's a good question. I think what really does that is the meals we have. There's like a Sunday meal we all sit down to eat at, and everyone takes part and cooks something to bring to it, like a little potluck that celebrated the previous week.
What do you bring to the potluck?
Well, I normally bring things I like because I don't. There are a few dishes that aren't my favorite. I always want to have at least one, and so I bring my 3-cheese mac and cheese to potluck most of the time.
That sounds so good.
And a question, because I'm going to ask, what do we also bring? It's a potluck and food. Yo.
Well, how about I answer what gets brought that I don't like?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's obviously the potato salad.
I see who brought it.
Well, I shouldn't say necessarily the potato salad. It's the excessive mayonnaise in it.
Oh, well, that's not my potato salad. I wouldn't do that. That's an American thing. I would never do that to a potato salad.
Well, there's many people in the covenant. I wouldn't want to point fingers.
Also, those raisins.
Why would you put raisins in a... No, absolutely not.
The disrespect.
We have found the one thing that Luna gets extremely heated about.
Okay.
Potato salad.
Okay. I have to. Okay, so one, I think it'd be good for all of us to answer. What do we bring? I think that's a really good follow-up question for all of us. But the other thing I kind of want to ask first, though, is does the Reina's dish always take precedence over the rest of ours, or do they make kind of space for everyone to sort of have everyone gets a chance to have their food try, or is there always kind of an implied thing of everyone's dish will be loved, air quotes, but Reina's dish takes center stage?
Well, I think I'm gonna go with the thing that would probably be the most aggravating. She doesn't bring a dish, or they don't bring a dish.
Yep.
I mean, they have no need to eat.
Neither do the rest of... Well, yeah, no, actually, we aren't vampires yet, so technically we do. Damn it.
I was thinking that too. I don't think she brings food. I think she just big chills with us and we eat and we bring food. But I mean, I think I can't say that I bring anything but potato salad, but I bring real potato salad, not whatever the Americans have done to it. But I bring nice Southern German potato salad, which is potatoes that have been boiled in beef broth, not just water. So they're nice and seasoned and they're nice and soft and they're all cut up. And then they have, they're in like an apple cider vinegar, salt, pepper, and herbs mixture, and these get served hot. So it's very nice and warm. It's a very comfort foodie, and it's very light still though. And I would never put raisins in it, ever. So that's what Luna brings.
I think no matter what time of the year it is, Miriam always brings ponche. So for anyone who doesn't know what ponche is, think like the best kind of like fruit punch you've ever had, but like heavier on the cinnamon kind of taste. And like it's very sweet, but it's usually actually, at least the way that I had it growing up, my dad would serve it like, think the big kind of soup pots that whenever anyone's ever imagined tamales being like made, they're like the giant one where you're like, hey, we can feed like 30 of you, or like 4 of you who have very big appetites. It's one or the other. But it's like hot kind of like fruit punch, and it's it may have raisins in it, Cregan. But that's an acceptable context in which it might have raisins in it. But my dad had it with like apples, pears, huge, like not tiny bits of cinnamon. He had it at like giant, like big canes, like level stalks of like cinnamon in it. So it was like, cinnamon doesn't need that much to be present. Cinnamon is like the drama student kid of like spices and such. It just is like, there's half a teaspoon and like, hi, I'm here. It's not like vanilla, where vanilla needs like, well, I have a stage. It's low, but yeah. Miriam always brings ponche. No one really knows how she gets access to it all the time, because most of the things that using to make it the best way are usually not in season. She just has a way of like knowing people. It's like, I have it, don't worry. And it's like routine. She always has it.
Chat can't hear you.
Yeah.
So we've lost audio on stream. Nope. Now you're back.
Is it back? Hello, I'm
Okay.
talking to check
Yeah.
whether sound
Okay.
is back.
Okay.
Here we are.
Chat. Okay, chat has.
We're back.
All right, so what did we miss out?
Okay, I believe I'm hearing something else that just might be from our end, from Jess's, but can chat can hear us, correct?
Yeah, I see. I'm looking at chat. It looks like sounds back. Okay.
Right.
So I guess the question is, where were we when we got?
Yeah.
Okay. Chat can hear us. I think chat. Did Mariam start speaking about their delicious chickpea flour fried dish, and that was about when it cut out? Do we have that? Do I have that right, chat? Somebody, one of you say yes.
I missed that part.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's just let Mariam
Mhm.
re-describe what they bring.
So in English, it sounds really mundane, but trust me, it's pretty delicious, which is pakoras, which are basically deep fried anything in besan, which is chickpea flour. And the most common ones would be like onion, spinach, eggplant, potato, and eggplant's their favorite. And occasionally there'll even be like paneer, which is like cheese. And sometimes there'll even just be an entire sandwich or bread slices just battered and fried.
I'm so hungry.
That's the usual effect of gaming with either Mariam or I. This is the usual thing that happens. Food will occur at some point. It just came much earlier than I expected it to come in.
And kind of, I'm so sorry, John. Your question. We were talking about food.
I mean, I was going to bring that up as soon as I saw a question that would allow me. So this happened sooner than I thought.
Also, F in chat for Nino saying frowns at his cold pizza. This won't cut it now. I'm sorry, Nino. You tuned into the wrong stream. You should have known better when Mariam and I were going to be here.
Look, just make some besan batter, throw that puppy in, and deep fry it. It'll be all good, I promise.
Oh boy.
Does
anyone else have any other follow-up questions for John? There was still a question for Sean. We had so much come from that.
Okay, I would like to add one thing. We have established that more than one person brings potato salad, which I feel is like a drama thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I figure that's probably something that comes up a lot.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I see it as competition because what they're bringing is clearly not potato salad. It's clearly something else. So I think there's a little. What, the person who brought it? Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I could, but that is quite the burn. I meant the leftovers of each salad.
I think the point of contention that comes up is that the person will be like, I brought potato salad, and very quietly Luna goes, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. So I think that's like the one person in the group that Luna does not click with, and it is only because of that. But that's the big point. I think if you deep fried it, as long as you didn't call it potato salad, I think Luna would be okay.
They're all pakoras. I think I have my personality now. I just deep fry everything and call it a pakora.
Perfect.
I love that solely because all it makes me think is some variation of the statement. You can't call it competition if you don't think you're playing the same game.
And now we have Luna's core character statement.
Like, you are not my rival.
But you are cute.
You think you're a PC in this conversation. You are an NPC at best. You're not even an important NPC. You're just one of the folks who had to do a fetch quest for.
Yeah.
You brought a two-dimensional character to a three-dimensional fight.
Ooh. I'm gonna say that to people in real life.
John, stop. They're already dead. Oh God. Okay, as the last comment from chat before, is it fair, John, to say move on to the next person? Just the last comment of Anita pointing out deep fries and Oreo, is this pakora?
And I wrote, if it's in besan, yes.
Oh my God.
Luna, you're up. Draw your card, place it, and decide whether you would like to answer it.
Draw it. Okay.
The first step is to try.
If you are having issues, I can...
That would be nice. I tried to click it, nothing happened. I was like, okay.
Do you want the first or the second one?
The first one.
Okay. Oh, I guess I have to steal it first. Stealing your card too.
That's okay. I forgive you.
At least it's not their lunch money.
Thank God.
My God, it won't let me take cards.
Oh,
Let's
for
see.
Pete's
What's
sake.
it? Oh, I have I think I can see the card now. I just don't, I think, oh, I have to, okay, there. I said let it go. So you can steal it now, I think.
There we go. It should hopefully allow us to keep going. There you go.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Okay. There, it is appearing. Only the coven has seen your true self. Why have you kept that part of you away from your reina? Okay, this fits perfectly with what we just had. I think I only make a fuss about stuff like that, and I only show like the part of me that is perhaps a bit more haughty and aggressive as a person to the family, and to the reina, I stay very like stoic and zen and calm, and I don't raise my voice ever. And I think at first it started as a habit. You know how sometimes when you meet someone and you really like them, and you might be like, maybe let's gloss over the parts of me that are a little bit more difficult historically for people to have around them. But then time passes and you have trouble transitioning out of that person and like that part of you. So you're like, okay, I'm showing you like 80% of me now. But that 20% still not happening. And then at some point it's like, well, if I bring that out now, it's going to shock them. And so I think that's why but with the family, it was more of an instant connection, where I felt I could be myself 100%, and I didn't have to hide anything or adjust anything. And because I wasn't coming into it trying to impress them. And now it's gotten to the point where I feel like I can only be myself with the others, or with maybe, I think,
Hello there again, fantastic lovelies and wonderful fellow wanderers of the night, daylight, or whatever other interplanar realm that you may be traveling through in order to come by and see us. Hello there. How are you doing? Have you eaten? Have you had a drink? Take care of yourselves if you haven't. And welcome back to Que la Vida Vale over here on BIPOC Vamp Day in Utopia. We had a little bit of tech issues, but we are back into full flight, given that some of us might be of the bat variety on this occasion. And we were just starting with our own fantastic and lovely Brandy, Luna, taking their turn. So just to reset us back in, set the tone, the mood for this, if you wouldn't mind, Luna, your
course.
question.
So since I'm not sure where the audio cut out, I will start relatively from the beginning. So my question was, only the coven has seen your true self. Why have you kept that part of you hidden away from your reina? And I said that I think when I first met the reina, it's like that thing where you meet someone and you want to impress them and you want them to see your best sides. And so I think that the part of Luna that gets passionate and territorial about potato salad and is more of the slightly intimidating, if also only accidentally, and more assertive side of her is something that only the family gets to see, or perhaps specifically like very specific people in the family, and maybe a few like partners in between in the polycule. Whereas like with the reina, as time went on, it just became a little awkward and too late to unveil the last like 20% of her personality. And I feel like maybe with the reina, I never had that moment where you feel like you can be fully yourself, like I did with some parts of the family. So I think that's why Luna has kept this part of herself away from the reina. But I also think it's probably a detriment to their relationship.
Does Luna feel like they're lying to Reina when they aren't showing that aspect of themselves?
I don't think so. I think because she's not being fake, so it doesn't feel like a lie. It's like she's showing 80% and the rest is hidden, but everything she's showing is genuine. So around the Reina, she's more composed, doesn't really show bold emotion, doesn't really react to things, stays very stoic, which is in her nature until that snapping point that she reaches rather randomly or erratically, but she just doesn't let herself reach that point around the reina. So it's more she feels like she's holding back rather than she's lying or being inauthentic. That's at least the feeling.
I have a question. Has Lorena ever pointed it out or asked more?
I doubt it. I don't think so. I think that the reina is because she wouldn't have any reason to doubt it necessarily. Or she would if she ever heard about it from like if she ever heard a complaint from the potato salad imposter in our ranks about maybe Luna being standoffish to them or being snobbish about something. I think that Aina would see it from the context she has of Luna. I think that Aina sees it as maybe that was a momentary lapse in judgment or a miscommunication. You guys should settle that amongst yourselves. So I think if she does bring it up to Luna ever, Luna is prepared to just shrug it off and be like, moment of weakness, because she just doesn't feel comfortable. Because at this point, she feels Reina has accepted her as this way, and she has the feeling if she changes that, the relationship might change, and she's not ready to think about that quite yet. Because that also means she has to consider if it does change, what does that mean for her? And what does that mean for how she feels about that I know as well.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a particular person that led to you showing that last 20% to the family?
I think it was maybe more of a group thing, because when she came in, it's kind of like that. We said earlier, we established her core is, you're not like, this isn't competition if I don't think you're competing with me. And she doesn't see anybody there as competition. She sees them as like, oh, cool, we're a family. This is fine. So she didn't feel the need to impress them. But yeah, I think maybe there was like one person in the family that Luna just clicked with immediately. And as such, was instantly at ease. And since the others maybe might have been around, was more at ease with them as well. And it just kind of was like a domino effect of like, oh, well, this is my family now. This is like my group. I can trust them, you know, except for the imposter. And but the imposter, I can also be myself around, because I definitely do not need to impress you at all. So I think everybody, she's relatively close, I think more or less with everyone, closer maybe to some particular members than others. I think antagonistically, she's only got the that person, potato salad imposter. But I think in general, it was it's the dynamic of, I don't have to impress you, so I don't have to keep anything hidden.
So is that coven member just called PSI?
Yes, absolutely. That is what I'm calling them in my head. I honestly, Luna probably does not know their name. Did not bother learning it.
Or maybe it starts with Psy, like
Cyan or
cyan or something like that. But it's just like, so every time maybe you call them Psy, it's like, yes.
But I know what I'm really thinking. I love that.
Can't know you're judging them if they don't know what you mean.
It's a little extra bit of entertainment, but I'm sure there's like one coven member that knows exactly what she's saying every time and goes, don't be mean. She's like, what? That's their name. I'm not doing anything. She's shady. She is a lot shadier than I thought she was going to be.
We started with judgment of potato salad, warranted though it is. That's where we started, so I don't think we're away from shade.
No, that was true.
I just love that the potato salad has become a central part of the story right now.
I'm so for this. This has become part of my joy for this game, is that will be the fulcrum upon which the most important moments rotate around. the potato salad.
To mayo or not, to raisin or not.
Not even a question.
Once again, if we're not cooking the same meal, so it's not even we're not talking about the same things.
Yep. The whole time everybody was like, it's about this potato salad. I'm like, again, it's not potato salad. It's something. I'm sure she does the gesture too, where she's like talking to Sai and it's like, that's a something that you made.
It's a starchy vehicle for mayonnaise
and raisins. You've made some choices this week. Interesting.
Damn it, Anino.
Thank you, chat.
Bless you, chat.
Thank you. It is an abomination. Thank you. But yes,
someone in the chat understands you.
Yep. That would be my spouse.
Thank you. All right. I think if nobody has any follow-up questions, I think we're back to Angela.
Okay. This is the part where I try and drag over a card and fight with my computer. Please, computer. I understand that you represent all that is untrue about my love for technology, which is to say that I adore it and that it never gives me any grief whatsoever. This is a lie. It always gives me grief. Why will you not agree with me, computer? Move it. There we go. Come on. There we go. It's the tiniest bit off center, but you will all have to live with that. which is to say I will have to live with that and just sit here and be simmering. But so we have, we got one of these questions.
Ooh.
Delightful.
Ooh, okay.
Well,
Okay.
when was the last time Urena drank from you? Oh, ooh, this is a tough one, because do I want to indulge my shit stir impulse, or do I want to just create steamy chaos? Both are good.
Yes.
I was
You
gonna
know
be like,
those
why not
dos?
both?
No, because one involves passing the card over to Moon, which makes it better because you had the question before about like like the love kind of like fading and such. So I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, this is tough. I think
I'm-
I will be. No,
I'm good either way.
I'm aware. Oh, you meant about this game? Okay, yeah. So it's fine. That's fine. Well, there's a steamy part already thrown in there for the hell of it, but okay, I will be selfish. I would answer it myself. When was the last time Rain drank from you? Actually, I'm gonna do my shtick and my brand, which is to say, sad feels and moody closeness. I think it's actually been a very long time, because I just suddenly had the question of like, how does hormone replacement therapy work for vampires? Because I kind of wonder if it would be a case of like, because we really been playing around with the actual gender of this being, of whoever this eternal person is, and I think Meaty has like been on hormone replacement therapy for a while, or like a couple of years now, but I think has had hesitation about like feeling like if the Rain might judge her if she were closer and like drank from her a bit more because of that. I think it's mostly an anxiety thing in her head, but I think it's probably actually been a couple of years since it's ever been drunk from, partaken, since Reina has partaken in, I think, a while, at least anything as deeply as it used to be before. I think it's been mostly like small bites, and I think a lot of it is her anxiety about like, will it taste the same? I think it's one of those kinds of things. Is I don't really hear that many stories about how people might like get into their own kind of judgment and anxiety circles about like, how does each other's blood taste? And I kind of think Meaty has that. I think it's a carryover from her own like shtick about like feeling like she belonged in the coven, that paralleled a lot of other things she's had in her life. And I think she's had one of those feelings of like, are they still gonna like me? She'll say she won't say it's because of her own gender anxieties and stuff. She'll just say, is my blood gonna taste the same? I think that's kind of why it's been a very long time.
So I have a question that's going to sound like some really weird Barty question, sort of like, but if you were a vampire and had a taste, what sort of a beverage does your blood taste like?
I actually think Meaty, in contrast to maybe like Luna's, where Luna's is much more put together and like all the time, except for those moments of like being out with people, or occasionally it like cracks, just occasionally. I think for her, she is always trying to be the like gregarious, big, like charisma kind of person. And I think a parallel to that would be, I think she would want to think of her, she would imagine like the taste her blood used to be like was very like sparkling cider kind of taste, where it was like, it's like fun, it's like a nice little like pop of like enjoyment and such, but it's not anything that's gonna like hit you too hard. Whereas I think probably Reina has tasted it before. It probably tasted like something that very fermented that took a long time, like, but also something that hits you a lot harder. So it's something like with the strength of like whiskey or something like that. But she's it's always very much for her like getting lost in her own head about like what she is and what Reina sees in her versus what she thinks she has to be. So that is my answer to you, Mariam.
Nice.
I'm really curious what everybody else's tastes like, if they don't mind sharing. Because I think that's like a really cool question.
Sure. John, do you want to go?
Like I have the quick answer. I would probably say some sort of mixed drink with like a umbrella in it or something. But I think probably it's some sort of peach flavored drink. At least that's how I believe it to taste. It most likely does.
That's so cute. What about you, Mariam?
I jokingly said mine tastes like fry oil. But I think if I'm being somewhat serious, it probably tastes very very heavily spiced of like chaat masala, which equal parts sort of salty, sweet, tangy, little bitter, and just kind of makes you water for more. I just realized that sounded very thirsty.
No, that's fair. That's an aesthetic. That's a whole mood.
Yes, an answer that has thirst in it. That has never before been broached at this table or any previous tables, and during this same series of games, thirst has never been present whatsoever.
Wait, are you telling me no one's thirsty at all, including the game that was basically a drink water while you do stuff game or beverage, whatever? Hydrate.
Yep.
Nope.
Did the straw miss?
No, I just well, no, it's just I forgot that I had cranberry juice in this before and I thought it was empty. And then I put water in it and I was expecting water and the cranberry like just hit me again and I was like, what the okay.
I was confused. For a second I thought like you went for a drink and the straw just like hit you and I was like, are you okay?
Oh, that happens all the time. I'm not wearing my glasses. That's a fair assessment. But no, this time I was just caught off guard by an unexpected taste. Which is probably what happened the first time that I drank from Luna as well, because I think I joked in the chat that Luna's blood tastes like potato soup. But I think it's similar, I think, to what was said earlier, but I think it's chocolate chai tea because it's very soothing. It's got like a little bit of it's not savory or anything. It's just a little bit of bitter, a little bit warm, but there's a little bit more spice maybe than was anticipated. So that would also be Luna's, and it's a nice little segue.
No one has further questions for my answer. We can move over to Mariam.
Yeah. So my question is, you've only known roughness and pain. Wow.
Oh,
How does your arena make you feel soft and fragile? Oh boy.
You got two ends of the spectrum on one question. Jesus.
On one hand, I don't love them anymore, and now it's just like, how do they make you feel soft and fragile?
Wait,
oh boy.
Before you answer, all I'm going to say is, Diana, the fuck with this
in
question.
a good way.
In a good way, but also the fuck.
Okay, so I think I might play a little bit into the stereotype of where a lot of found family ends up happening, where their own family didn't quite accept them. And the roughness and pain might not have been physical, but it was definitely emotional and verbal. And probably why their trauma response is basically fawn and feed. Everything's pakoras. It's like, hey, you can't not like me if I feed you and I make the most delicious food ever. And I think with those questions of like what does our blood taste like and everything, I think it's when Reina chooses me, I think more often than not as their special alone time, a feeding time. And I taste like what I eat, that I am made to feel soft and fragile, especially when Lorena describes like how when people are reviewing a food and then tell you it's like, oh, the texture is exquisite and sublime and everything, just this whole description of how I taste just makes me feel good. And I think I will leave it at that as to the answer to the question. But I'm also open to answering any more before we continue.
That was really sweet. I'm still digesting.
I know pakoras can be a lot because they're fried.
I
But
I accidentally made a pun. Sorry, Jess.
But if there isn't any more, I think we can also just turn it over to, I believe John goes next. Ether?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Even when Burst of Hope is not directly in a game, we can feel the sensation of them screaming over a pun being made.
Yep. Oh, heavy hitter.
Ooh. Your Rene only comes to you when they're at their lowest. Why?
Boy.
That's a good question. I gotta think about that one for a second. I think they come to me because I am someone who knows how to boost people's spirits, like telling, be able to say the right words to, you know, get people to feel better, and also, I'm, I guess, I'm a person who listens more than they talk, and being someone who can listen to them is a quality they depend on from me.
I have a follow-up question. How do you think it's received in the rest of the family that you are the one that they go to at their lowest?
I think it depends on the person, but overall, I think there is some bad blood between myself and some of the coven. However, as I mentioned, I have a way with words, which I can calm down most of those negative feelings when I want to. Plus, I can always like deflect it towards other people when I need to.
Mhm.
All right. If there's no
Well,
other questions, I think that.
I have
Oh,
one.
oh, okay.
What do you say that makes them feel safest? If, because I imagine if they come to you and are at your lowest and you talk with them, you're comforting, you listen well, what do you feel like you say that makes them feel safe around you?
What I normally say to them is, no matter what happens, if even if the rest of the world abandons you, I will always be here.
So sweet.
No further questions, Your Honor.
No. All right.
It comes to Luna now.
See if it'll let me draw a card this time. All right, click draw. One card.
It goes directly to your hand.
Ah. Okay. Wait, did I pull it correctly? How do I make it go to the screen?
You just drag onto the screen. Grab the card and drag it onto screen.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Go,
Let's
just
see.
move it down. Move it down.
Move it down.
I'm moving it down for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Oops, sorry, that was me. It's before you told me you were grabbing it. There we go. Okay. Your arena doesn't drink from you in the same ways as they do with others. What makes you special? Oh boy. Maybe that's kind of how we make up for the lack of, because from what I've gotten so far from the cards and the answers is that we have a very, how to say, like, not casually intimate relationship. It's more a very like quiet, like solid deal that they have, like an understanding. So the what's it called? So the feeding time when we do have that together is like a more intimate thing. And that's maybe the only type of intimacy that we really have that's more like explicitly intimate. Whereas like with the others, maybe they have a more more intimate relationship in general. They can be more casually intimate, but given to Luna's just the way that it happened, like more reserved nature, I feel like maybe for Lorena, this is the only way she can get that intimacy from Luna, and it's the only way that Luna is comfortable giving it. I think that's why it's different.
do you ever feel judged? Do you think others know about that kind of the state of like how you treat intimacy with each other?
I think if anything, the majority of the family, Luna is more intimate with. I think at this point, maybe the character that or the person in the family that was the one to like really make Luna feel 100% comfortable from the get-go is actually more intimate and closer to her at this point than Lorena. So I think amongst the family, I don't think that they're jealous or judgmental of it. I think if anything, they notice that Luna is more casually intimate with them at this point than, or with some of them, obviously not with Sai. Sai can walk off a cliff. And as far as Luna is concerned. But so I think Sai like might be like the one that doesn't see it the way everyone else does. Because to them, they don't get the Luna that can relax, so like, and also be like softer, which is the other thing. Like you can't, the thing about like withholding part of yourself is that you don't usually get to just pinpoint, oh, I will only withhold the part of me that is more difficult. But it's also then like, if by withholding that part, you also withhold the part that's more soft and gentle and intimate emotionally. And so while most of the family or some of the family gets that from Luna, of course, Sai doesn't at all. So for Sai, the way that it would look is that when the Reina goes off and has like special alone time with Luna, 2 feet specifically, and they make it like a big intimate ordeal, I think Sai would be jealous of it and not understand. And definitely, I think, wouldn't understand why everybody else is not jealous or judgmental of the way that they handle feeding. Drama entry.
Poor Sai.
Just dunking
Not
on
really.
Sai.
Oh,
I feel bad for them, but they understand the mistakes they've made.
Yes.
if only they would stop making them.
Yeah,
I feel
at
like it's
least
one of those things where it's like one person, when somebody annoys you, it's like everything they do pisses you off. Everything. So I could breathe and like Luna would internally be like, God, why?
I think
Why?
Luna and I have the same temperament in that case. Like not me as a character, me as a person. That's
yeah, no,
me as a person.
me as a person for sure as well. It's like, why are you eating that there right now? Why?
It's
Why
like,
are you eating so loud?
I'm having chips. I'm just like they're crunchy. That's what they sound like. Yeah, but yours sound crunchier. And
Yeah.
It's like that
louder.
person over there is just eating a cracker.
Why are
Mhm.
you chewing on that potato salad so loud? Like, what?
Why are you chewing on that abomination so loud? Excuse me. Also, I just had the idea. I think Luna doesn't let them eat from the proper potato salad. Is like, no, you don't get to make that and then have this. You pick a struggle. No.
You've made your choices.
Yeah.
You made it, now gorge on it.
Yes.
It's
I'm
just
also
how-
trying to think like what kind of character that is the person that Luna is closest to in the group. I have no clear vision of them yet. So input is welcome in case you guys are struck by inspiration. And I have nothing.
I have thoughts.
Ooh.
The first thought is that the only thing I could think of is it just makes me think that like someone in the family, probably Meaty at some point, is just like, you need to understand about Luna is that they will not let you co-opt their culinary movement. If you do this by bringing in half-assed attempts to appease them, that you will fail. Put in the effort to do it properly. So that's one thought that I had. It's just like,
Mhm.
Do you think that one time they tried to replicate it, but it came cold? It's like everything you did, but instead of serving it hot, it's just cold. Because that's
See,
how
that
they were
would've-
raised
that
with
would've
potato
been-
salad.
That would have been moderately okay because you can technically serve that dish cold or hot. It's just typically when you make it fresh, you serve it hot, but you can keep it and serve it cold. So I think that would have actually gotten like a pass, but also it's like just not as good as mine. So it would have been like, well, after like being, that way, because unfortunately what comes with that temperament is it's very hard to change like her mind. I almost said my mind. I mean, true also, but not relevant. Very difficult to change her mind. So like one moderately successful attempt wouldn't be enough. And if Sai was not understanding of that, that would be like a further, like that would have been like 1 step forward, 2 steps back type deal. So it would have depended on how Sai reacted to the fact that Luna doesn't immediately go, oh, all is forgiven, you're totally cool. Luna's just like, that wasn't as horrible as you usually are. And if Sai doesn't understand that that is like progress, then that would go right back.
You can do some size fanfic now.
If only Sai would bring something other than potato salad.
Yeah,
this problem
honestly.
would go away.
I think there's only one other person in our entire coven who actually likes that mayo raisin abomination. Which is
can-
why that keeps coming back.
Oh, that Luna does not understand that person. Like, not fun, just fundamentally is like, I don't get you. I don't think I want to, but I don't get you. And I think that's probably like the person that Sai would be very close to in the coven.
And we call them Rayo, like raisin mayo. So like Rayo.
Yeah. Oh God.
Does
That
anyone have
definitely-
their own name?
That definitely started. That definitely started as like what Luna like deadass is just like calling them as like Sai, and Sai thinks it's a cute nickname from their name, but it's like no, potato salad imposter. But the thing is, if prompted, Luna will say so also. Like if there was ever a moment where Sai was like, I thought you liked me, you use my nickname, and she goes, it stands for potato salad imposter. It's like unwavering eye contact.
So the potato salad is basically continues to be brought because no one has said anything.
I love Diana's comment in chat that's the actual reason why it keeps coming up, is that Ureta just brought them in to mess with you in particular, Luna.
I mean, yeah, it's so hard to get a rise out of Luna. I wouldn't put it past the Reina to be like, let's just put you in here. See what happens.
So that's probably why the potato salad keeps being brought, because
The Reina might ask for it.
even though they don't
Specifically
eat
with the
it,
mayo and the raisins.
even though they don't eat it, they ask for it.
They're just like, they always ask for mine in particular. It's like, yeah, it's not for the reason you think.
That would absolutely, hearing that would absolutely make, if the Reina is present, Luna would not react bar like the slightest eye twitch of like irritation. And then just like, but privately, as soon as the Reina's gone, be like, no, I refuse to accept that. No. But yeah.
And I feel like at some point, one particular moment of irateness of like extra mayo and extra raisins, please.
And bacon. This is the time that they added bacon and violence.
Oh no, we killed Angela.
No.
I had a thought about what this game would be. This was not it.
No, me neither.
I had a thought as to whether I would be pleasantly surprised or unpleasantly surprised. Now I'm just in confusion. I'm okay with this outcome, but I'm just stating for the record, my existence right now is just confusion.
Here we were thinking this was going to be Vampire Diaries, and it ends up being Hell's Kitchen.
I mean, it's not too late for it to go that direction. It'll just also be
still
food.
might. It still might. This
It's-
side person just keeps coming up.
It's just a continued case of dunking on this one person for the sins that they have committed.
I'm
In fact, I'm not even
be
sure we're
fair-
here for the Reina anymore. It's all about Sai.
To be fair, I did start out my answer very Vampire Diaries. It just ended up going there. Still.
Looney Tunes instead.
Going Looney Tunes, yes. That's exactly what's happening.
Are we good on this
think we're good.
question?
Can we-
Okay,
please.
let's continue on.
Yes, with you.
So the next one that I pulled, I think I'm gonna X solely because it's not quite the one that I want to deal with. I'll read it out loud solely for the benefits of folk, but it was, you trust another kith in the coven more than you trust your Reina, whom why? I think I'm gonna X that one because I actually don't. I think we've touched on a lot of similar ones already, and I pulled another card, and I think this one is a little bit more interesting. Once I manage to move the dang old card, it's just Mariam, if you could do the thing and just actually put it fully center, thank you.
Okay.
But other than that, this one is Uranus recently speaks of a full transformation. Are you looking forward to ascending? I feel like this is unfair that one of the trans folks specifically was targeted with this question. This feels entirely unfair. I am being attacked right now. And also, hello there, Salty Sweet Games. We appreciate you joining us for what apparently was supposed to be the Vampire Diaries and is now turned into just a bunch of chismosas in a vampire coven just
Oh.
throwing shade at each other.
I
Which,
mean,
you
it could
know,
still be telenovela. I mean, there's elements. It could still be
you know
a
what?
mixture.
That is actually it. No, we'll lean more in towards telenovelas. So because I know Diana played what was it? Pasión de los Pasiones. So there you go, Diana. You accidentally maybe created a Pasión de los Pasiones hack without trying. You just did it in a For the Queen style game.
I mean, this is the first act. Everyone's
Sure, this is the
throwing
first act.
shade at everyone in the first act.
And
sets up
potato
to-
salad.
Instead of throwing shade, it's just throwing potatoes out.
I love that since a lot of this is like I'm drawing a little bit from myself. I'm like, does that mean that I am a telenovelas character in real life?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
I mean,
In the best way possible.
look, you are just the character who like maybe some people didn't like at the start of the series, but the moment that like you got pulled off because you were supposed to just be a guest character, everyone was like, what have you done? Why did you get rid of them?
Please come back.
Please come back. And
There
you're like,
were petition.orgs and change.orgs.
about this shadiest
I
book
just
character.
jumped to a different world, and I was like, you would be Whitley in that show.
Oh God.
Oh.
Bless you,
She
John.
started out cold, but then became like the best character on the show.
Bless you, John. Also, thank you, Diana, for potatoes all the way down
Yeah.
as a comment.
Thank you.
To answer the question, which is Reina recently speaks of full transformation, you're looking forward to ascending, I'm going to say yes. I think it's a mix of like the worst kind of people pleasing, vampire pleasing. It's whatever is appropriate term here. And also like I think even in the kind of moments where, because we spoke before about like having had a drink hasn't happened in a very van pleasing. God damn it, John. Why? God damn you. Almost
Just
lost
heard
my
Jess
train of
scream in my head.
because I mentioned before that I think for me it's been a while since that Reina has actually like had a drink from her. I think she is looking forward to it because it's the kind of way that someone who's just like, if you've ever been the kind of person who like, if you had a messy relationship in the past, like, or a couple of them, and then you find someone who's just like, hey, sorry, and you go up to them and you develop intimacy and you have a sense of like, hey, so just a heads up, I have a lot of baggage and a lot of shit, and then it's like, oh, okay. It's like, you're not running away. It's like, no, and that's just, everyone has baggage. That's just about what you do. Right. But I have a ton of like pulls out the whole like spiel that you would normally do in those moments of like, but I deal with this shit. Like I get intermittent with talking. I occasionally have really bad pain or like energy days. And it's like, yeah, okay. I don't sleep, so this is irrelevant to them, to Reina. And it's like, oh, I think Miri just kind of has a lot of those moments of just kind of, I'm imagining it like those kind of like cartoon moments where after like you see the kid who's like had the worst lot in life and such, and then they just have someone do like a moment of like pure unbridled kindness, and then like camera and episodes ending, you just hear the little voice from the kid to say thank you. It's like, that's meaty, I think, but towards Reina like all the time. I think she's still a little skittish about like all the stuff that's stuck in her head, but I think she's also like, I think I'd be really happy to join them and however he wants to be and whatever she would like, because they're one of the first people who's been so utterly sweet without any qualifiers to it. she is just anxious being. She is just anxious trans being and is just like, I don't know how to handle what do with pure unbridled kindness. What do it does not register in my brain. So I think she is looking forward to it.
It's really sweet. I really like the juxtaposition of like Miri's relationship with Reina and like the tension that's kind of there with everybody else's like relationships. I like that there's like some relationships where they're very comfortable and close and some less so. I think that's really interesting narratively.
And I think it's also like we all have very different understandings of like what intimacy even like, because
Mhm.
it sounds like Luna has the like very like we have an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
This is what our intimacy is. And then Moon has a very different it's like I don't know if I love them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But also
But
it's
here's
like,
food.
But here's food. Here's food. Then Ether's relationship is so like I got you or I got your back kind of vibe. And it's also very sweet. John and I got the nicer end of our on the relationship ones.
Mhm.
Luna and Moon got more tension built in for
I
other
got a
reasons.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
I think with Luna, like the whole problem of a we have an understanding and it's unspoken is like, do you? Or are you on the same page actually? Because sometimes
Yeah.
that slips when you have an understanding. And also there's only so far a relationship can go without real continued talked about intimacy, even no matter what it looks like. But I think that's maybe where things are headed right now, where it's like, oh, Luna is closer actually to this quote unquote like family, like pack member, this member of the polycule. They have a way tighter relationship than she does with the Reina now at this point. And that's not sustainable. And I can't imagine that the Reina would like not eventually notice that. So tension.
Or it would also say something if they're like, I don't mind either way. Because that also says
Yeah.
something too.
It's true. That's the whole no answer is also an answer.
Yep.
Intrigue.
If no one telenovela pose to make it a full telenovela. But if no one has any other questions for me, we move over to Moon's next question.
Yeah. All right. How did you find out about Reina's vampirism? Did it strengthen or weaken your bond with them? I think that playing the sort of grungy goth that I'm trying to channel in my totally professionally done makeup, I'm gonna go with, I think I was actively seeking for vampires because I'm probably one of the few people who believe they really exist, not just I wish they exist. It's like, no, they're here, they exist. I'm gonna find them. And that's probably my biggest reason for why I joined this family slash coven. Was I have Freudian slip, y'all.
Freudian pun.
Right.
Freudian. Mariam doesn't have Freudian slips. Mariam has Freudian puns.
Diana. Coffin. Yes.
Yeah, a coffin. When it is really, really full, like when there's too many members, that's when this coven turns into a coffin.
Oh my God.
Makes it sound like some of us are gonna die.
Yeah,
or
like
die
you-
again. It's like there's too many of you. Alrighty, I gotta go.
All right, who wants to be Pakoras?
Sai. I volunteer Sai. Sai and Rio.
And I was like, why is it always me? I'm not that tasty, guys. Guys?
I think out loud, Luna would be like, I hate that that's what you took from that. I hate that. I hate that for you.
I was waiting for the for you part to show up.
And then Sai's just like, and then scuttles away like a crab.
I hate that like
Anime
Rio
style.
Rio was added to this. Rio's just like, what? Huh? Rio just wants potato salad.
More
Mhm.
mayo, more raisins. That taste
Mhm.
combination just does it for them.
Never mind. They death, both of them, death, violence, treason.
And then the second part is, yeah, I think it very much strengthened the bond. That was basically like I was totally fan-being. I found a gender neutral word for me, at least for fanboy, fangirl. I was a fan bean. It very much strengthened the bond at the start. And I think the reason, again, aside from that found family that stops me from leaving, even though I know I've kind of fallen out in love with the Reina, I still believe in vampires. I still, I guess, want to join their ranks, and I want to, like, it is my lifestyle of choice. I don't have to be in love with Reina to love vampires. So I think it does strengthen the bond with them. I see you have a question there.
Does this mean Moon is a cosplayer?
Look, cosplayer implies being a fictional character to a certain extent. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe please don't come for me, cosplayers. I was
Just
I
hear
mean,
this
to be fair, I do have a cos plan out of character. That's Avril Lavigne. So, you know,
I suppose that's true.
could be anything.
I mean, of sorts. I mean, yeah, I guess so.
No
love
further
that.
questions.
That's really cute.
Thanks. So I guess if no further questions, I pass it on to Ether.
Okay. What traditions do you introduce to your arena and the coven? Do they embrace it? Okay. It's like I was thinking about it and there were several things. I'm still trying to decide which one. But I think it's kind of like there's a time where it's not, I'm not going to call it karaoke, but it's like something where we have like almost like a talent show amongst the coven where we'll just do things to like entertain the rest of the coven. And so
talent night.
so like singing, poetry, playing music, playing an instrument, anything, telling a story, whatever, that sort of thing. And like, yeah, open mic, exactly. And it's something that I feel some people embrace and not others. Because I can see Luna not embracing it, but I can also see maybe she does. I don't know.
I think
it's
she would embrace watching it. She's watching.
Yeah.
And of course, like Ether gets all into it because that's why they're trying to get other people to join in. So
Which is go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, which is a different night than open mic where everybody gets to feed on mic.
Sorry, the thing in chat is oh my god. Diana. Am I Simon Cowell? No.
But here's the thing: you have a soul, so you're already one better than
That's
Simon.
true. I'm Paula Abdul.
Yeah.
Better.
Better, still better.
Okay. All right, I accept my position. It's just Luna and the partner that they have within the coven, who's still unnamed. Need a name. I'm just gonna pop up a name generator at some point. Sylvia. Let's call the partner Sylvia. So it's just Luna and Sylvia sitting in like these fold-out chairs during the open mic, enjoying most of it, but then roasting the shit out of like random acts here and there, just to each other. It's Sai's act.
I was like, wait for it.
Sai's
There it is.
juggling
Wait,
craisins.
could the one side person open mic be the person who loves the potato salad?
Yeah,
Like the
Rhea.
mic for the
Rhea.
other open mic.
Oh my god.
Mike is their actual name. Their nickname is Simon. Their actual name is Mike.
I definitely wrote down open mic night, not to be confused with open mic. Oh man, this is great. Okay, yeah.
I feel like there needs to be a game, like where we all just play these side characters we created.
It really should.
Cosmic karmas. I have to play Sai.
There's this horror game called Final Girl that is also a card-based game where it's basically you play until the last character survives, or maybe not. I think taking some of these side characters and putting them in that game would be amazing.
This is
Sai, Reo, and Mike.
Poor four. All three. We just need one more, and then we're all set.
Oh boy.
By the way, I think Meaty goes and tells Luna that, like, occasionally goes and tells Luna in a more chaos-inducing moment that, like, Rhea said something or did something they didn't. Just to be like, hey, it's like, what? Just they brought food for tonight too, right? It's not the day, but they brought something fun too, right?
Twitch is back.
It's ambrosia with craisins.
Oh my god. Oh, that is going. You know what? If this is like one of those nights, maybe that Aina has, like, maybe this is later in the night that Aina has already left, gone to bed, like, maybe she doesn't go to bed, but like left to do whatever the fuck they do. But like, that ambrosia is gonna end up on someone's head. It's gonna end up on someone's head. Sai's head. It's gonna end up on Sai's head.
Oh, is it like in a bucket just in that above the door and the door's ajar?
I think it's more that like she'll see, like she'll hear that, you'll tell her, she'll go up to like inspect it, and Sai will be stupid and have no sense of self-preservation and come up beside her and be like, oh yeah, you should definitely get some of that. And she just like serves like a big spoon of it, turns around and dumps it on his head and walks away. And it's like, yep.
Wait, do you
That's
get like the
exactly what
last
it's
out of
about.
the bowl out with a spoon?
Yeah.
Just so it
Just to
doesn't-
do that.
Yeah.
Petty. She's petty.
I just imagine any time Luna walks into a room, and then at any point after that, if Sai comes in, it's just like the freaking One-Winged Angel starts playing in the background. And it's just like you just hear it's the definition of Luna's reaction is just the definition of like, why do I hear boss music all of a sudden?
Oh yeah, that's a better song to me because I was thinking the Wicked Witch song.
What, Ding Dong the Witch is dead?
No, like
Oh, that one. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Boss level music starts playing that exact moment.
Either
Oh
that or
my God.
It's either that or the Kill Bill siren
The
starts
Kill Bill
playing.
siren. Because that's what I always say out of character the moment somebody does something where I'm just like, I think I just heard the Kill Bill sirens in my head. So that's it. The Kill Bill sirens go off every time they're in the room together, just instantly. Absolutely.
Less. So, okay. So, does anyone else have any other questions they want to ask about open mic night?
I do actually. I want to know what exactly Miri and Moon do for open mic night.
You want to go?
I need a second to think. Go.
Okay.
Take spotlight. Take center.
Surprise, surprise. It is a giant sort of like wok filled with fry oil, and they're juggling pakoras with the fry spiders, you know, the thing to lift the.
Mhm.
So it's like the minute they're done, they're just juggling it around and then tossing it into audience plates.
10 out of 10. Luna holds up this, like, nobody knows where she got it from. Luna holds up this, like, sign 10 out of 10 because now her plate has like a pakora and she's like, good, this is good.
Balance has been restored.
And then there's like 1812 Overture, where suddenly condiments go flying out like rockets into everyone's plates.
Oh my God.
And it's green chutney and red chutney and ketchup for people who like it, because that's also cool too.
Oh, it's so good. I am so hungry. This is ridiculous. I love this.
That, as we've said before, that's what to expect with a game that has at least either myself or Mariam involved in it. Both
And
of us
then
are
when
in,
we
then you're
both are
fucked.
there, it just turns into.
Oh, you're fucked. Yeah, you're just fucked now.
Mhm.
Oh god, we should have had pakoras as part of this stream. Somebody drop the ball so everyone go order
Aren't they
food right
gluten
now.
free too? Because it's chickpea flour, so
Yep.
I can eat that. Oh, it's a tragedy.
Bless this. Oh god. I think meaty. Hell, just for the hell of it. The one occasion that I think she actually feels super confident about herself and like who she is, I think she has like big Marilyn Monroe vibe kind of like dress and outfit, and is like does the full like I'm imagining the phrase like wears like a slinky kind of dress like in full effect for that kind of persona she channels in that, and is like going around to different members of the coven and just like teasing all of them, but she's never actually interacted with anyone in any more of an intimate context. This is just like the one way that she like teases folks who may have any interest in her, because this is the other means by which she initiates her chaos, is just being like, you're very cute, and it's like full, like I'm imagining things like Eartha Kitt's I Want to Be Evil, or like Eartha Kitt's kind of style of like just that really soft and very kind of sweet little voice that's just enticing and wonderful and want to bring you into my world. But I can't, but I want to, but I can't, but I want to. But you'll never
Sweats
see
and
me.
geek panic.
Your Eartha Kitt is so good.
Thank you. I treasure just the way that she says that phrase of like, I want to be evil. And just you can imagine her just doing this like full, like, I'm here. And doesn't everyone want me? But I don't want them. Wink. That's her. Wrong. Nina, wrong lever.
Wrong lever.
Damn it.
Why do we even have that lever?
The fact the movie does it twice with different characters makes it better. Carrying on. I think if that is the end of questions related to the bike night, then it goes to Luna answering.
Mm-hmm. This time I know how to do this. All right, let's see.
Big brain time.
I wouldn't go that far. Okay. Oh, is it far enough down? Do I have to?
I shall move it for
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Oh, boy. Wonderful question
Oh
for
man.
Luna.
you.
Boy.
You can always pass it if you don't want
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think I'm gonna pass that question, because the answer would be I do not.
I mean, that's a valid answer.
it.
Might be the reason why tensions are high.
Oh,
I mean,
Luna
that's
should
fair. That's the
Luna
way
should not answer it because they are often the ones responsible for causing the tensions to be high.
Yes. So yeah, I passed that. I passed the question.
Okay,
How-
because if you're because then it would come to me. I think I will answer that one. So how do you keep the coven from falling apart when tensions are high? I think it's two ways. I think one is the really easy way, for her at least, which is to say it involves putting in a shitload of work, but she does not notice it because she's used to doing that. And that is, I think, like whenever folks within the family are having like fights or spats with one another, I think she actually goes, makes the favorite dish of anyone involved, and then like sets aside a table, because we actually haven't picked out like where we even have this coven located actually.
Oh yeah, where the hell do we live?
Yeah, because there's that. And I think there was it one additional element that we've got to pick of like the type of vampire we have and time period. That was actually something I did forget before we did instructions to read out, but I
Well,
think
we
this
do
is a
it
good
now.
yeah, we could do it now. Is
Uh-huh.
I think actually she's a vampire who takes heat. And I think that's part of the reason she kind of relishes the mic night, is that when people get all flushed and kind of like out of it, she's like, oh, thank God I don't have to care anymore. Thank God. It's more the person, I'm drawing on big Ace vibes here of like, you're all turned on. Great. Go do whatever the hell else you want. I don't need you anymore. I just need you to be turned on. That's all I was interested in. Whatever the hell else you want to do, go do that. Go do that. I'm not interested anymore. But I kind of imagine like it's a case where in my head I just went immediately to like big ass kind of castle vibes, not even know where it would be located, but my thought was castle, solely for the idea of like having like little nooks, crannies, and individual rooms. And I think there's one that I think unnervingly so used to be used as like maybe like a intense discussion room is how she calls it. And I think it still retains that reputation in part because I think what Meaty will do will be like, if there's 2 or 3 people who are having arguments or spats, she will be like, what's your favorite dish? And then be like, why? Just let me know. Comes by the next day, has the food made, and like anyone who's like, gimme is like, no. You two sit down, talk it out, and once you figured it out, then I will give you the food.
Luna's the victim of this method a lot, isn't she?
I can neither confirm nor deny this, yes.
I can just imagine Ether gets into fights just to get the meal.
I would not be surprised. And also, if it's okay with you, Ether, I think Meaty doesn't care. Meaty still gives you the food anyways. Like, I feel like because I feel like Meaty has a certain similar level of like, I don't want to say emotional maturity, but at least emotional forthrightness on that level, at least. So there's like you're not in trouble. Like they did something wrong here. Just talk it out with them. I'll talk it over with them. And then here's the actual food early.
I mean, as long as the food's there, if someone needs to blow off steam, like arguing at me, I'm cool with it.
I will simply starve.
Pettiness beats hunger.
I survive off of spite. No, she will eventually have to cave also because she doesn't want this getting back to the Diana, but like it takes at least twice as long as anybody else's dispute settlements. Because she'll just sit there for 2 hours like this. Unspeaking, unwavering eye contact, intimidation, like nat 20 at usually Psy. Just no.
Usually
Psy. For some reason, Sayo gets fed a lot during this as well. I don't know why. For some reason, Sai ends up getting a lot of these meals a lot. Most of her time cooking is spent feeding Sai.
It's because Sai doesn't know when to shut up.
You probably have to argue with Mike because the open mic nights, he needs the extra nourishment.
Very true.
God damn it, John. But I also kind of think too that for the folks who are having like more like, hey, is this actually a thing you need to like hash out with each other? That one, she will like make their like favorite cozy drink, sit down and like talk it out with them. And then it's like, do you need time to work this out? Do you need to make sure that we're all good here? Good? Good. We're fine. We are happy. Things are okay. She's like kind of like big mom energy, or no, less big mom energy, big sister kind of energy. And it's like, and if I see you fighting again, I will have a headache. And then we'll do this again as many times as we need to.
Yep.
I think she just does that a lot. She just sits down with people and like talks with them, and also accepts for some people this is just the nature of their existence at this point. It ain't gonna change.
That's a very efficient threat. That's very much, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Which, as everyone knows, is the most efficient way to get that settled.
Why you gotta come for me like this, Brandy? Like not even Luna, Brandy. Why you gotta do this? Why you gotta come for me like this?
You're not the only shit stir in this troop.
If I may insert myself into all of this, it would be that as this is going on, you hear a loud crunch and see Moon like a raccoon just starting to eat, to have some of the meal.
Well, I imagine that happens for when it takes too long. He's like, well, I can't let this food go bad. Anybody else wants it?
No, okay.
No?
Well, I'm just gonna do quality control. Just make sure the food's still good. I'm gonna just do a better thorough sample. I just like being very thorough. Oh yeah, that's still good.
Yeah, suddenly arguments settle themselves when they see the food dwindling away.
Oh my God. What if Miriam brings in Moon when these sessions with Sai and Luna are taking too long? And is like, no, we're going for plan B.
It's like
the food is disappearing.
It's like a food hourglass.
I am perfectly fine being used as a time device.
Oh my God. I'm just
release the raccoon.
Please clip that.
No, it just I imagine it like the fucking Simpsons like hedge maze thing where he just comes out of the hedge, but instead it's Moon just like slowly appearing out of the shadows from one of the side rooms right next to the food. They're just like
my cheeks hurt.
Oh, that might do too. I think on that note, because we came back to me, and we're gonna take a break. God damn it, seeing release the raccoon in the chat made it worse.
Oh gosh, I need to use the break, and I feel like that all this laughing is making it hard.
We're gonna take a break. At this point, we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. I'll finish laughing. We'll be back soon, everybody. Please. Hello again, lovelies, delightful beings, and folks who are just tuning in, maybe perhaps just right now. We are happy to have you back for Utopia's BIPOC Vamp Day, currently playing Que la Vida Vale. And we have been having a fantastic time with many Spuds-related bits of shade and such, and fry oil being thrown into the mix every now and then, and only a slight dash of raisins to incite the appropriate amount of outrage. So with all of that being said, we had just finished off with Medium answering a question that Luna had passed on over. And of course, our own John / Ether causing shit with the comment of food hourglass that Moon was acting as. So because of that, it now comes to Moon's turn.
Yeah, and before I start, I want to say if we're looking for NPCs, I feel like you might have 2 assistants called Small and Large.
Why do they called Small and Large?
Because one's about 6'5" and they're called Small, and the other one's about 4.5 and they're called Large.
I would ask why you are like this, Mariam, but I understand why you're like this. I understand. Take your turn, damn it.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad I have this prompt.
All right, everybody, take a 30-minute break. We got to give Mariam a chance to shine on this one. It's unfair. This is unfair that Mariam gets this question.
Look, after the first few heavy hitters, I feel like this is a welcome respite.
John just read it.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So I'm gonna read out this question. There's one dish that Yorena loves. Why do you rarely make it? So, contrary to the opinion that garlic is something that vampires can't have, that's actually just a myth. And a couple of people don't actually like garlic, so they purposely put that myth floating so that people think that they have some modicum of safety against vampires. And it would have to be this dish called toom, which is essentially garlic sauce without any eggs in it. And it's got the consistency of mayonnaise, but it's just like you have it and it's going to be, you're going to be smelling it in your sweat for 3 or 4 days. That's how strong it is, but it is so delicious. And I call it toom, sort of appropriate macabre humor. And the reason I rarely make it is because it's very hard to find garlic in this supernatural majority neighborhood. So whenever somehow we come across it, that's the only time when suddenly our entire coven houses start to smell of garlic, that just means that there was some cellar that was nearby. And yes, I agree. The people who don't like garlic are the real monsters. But to be fair, if anybody does have allergies to it, you're exempt.
That's different. That's an actual, like, you are prohibited from liking it by nature of it might kill you. That's different than someone who's just like, oh, I don't like garlic. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Do you not like life or flavor or anything?
Do you not want happiness in your life?
Who hurt you?
Yes.
Do you derive any joy from your existence?
These are all things Luna has said to Sai when discovering that Sai does not like garlic. Just in one go. So do you not like your life?
Sai.
Well, the chat said, I bet Sai doesn't like garlic.
It's canon now because Kat said it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is we've dunked on Sai so much, but the sad thing is I mean, I mean, yes, the sad thing is I can still imagine that exact person as an actual person in my life. So they've
Yep.
earned it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Mhm.
love that.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm kind of interested though. Oh, Jess, your friend. Oh,
Um,
poor friend. For folks who can't see it, our chat is noting that one of our producers happens to know someone who's allergic to onions and garlic, and I'm just like, my
Oh.
sadness.
rest
My
in peace.
I feel
Yeah.
it in my soul, in my deep, dark soul where Allison exists. You know, the compound that gives garlic its garlicness.
Why?
So, you know, for
Why?
me, when Alice is missing, it's when we can't find any garlic.
Okay, I can't actually scream because I want to have a voice for the rest of my week. But if I could, this would be the moment that I would. Oh, God damn it, Mari. Okay, I have to. Oh God, you made. Yes, that is a counter we should consider for Utopia streams I'm on. A number of times I die off screen,
Mhm.
just in general. There's
There's
a sigh we ducked along the way. Okay, I had a question I actually wanted to ask that I'm trying to remember. But it's like fucking no one make an Angela death counter. I was kidding. I was joking. You fuckers. This is the problem once more people learn overlay stuff, then they can actually do it. They can threaten me. This is unfair. Do you think, given the relationship you have with Reina currently, that you would actually make it if they were more easily accessible to if the means to make it were more easily accessible to you, Moon?
Sorry, I did not hear the question. I was too
Don't worry.
busy. I was too busy thinking about garlic. Please.
I assumed as much, and I'm looking at this overlay with worry now and hesitation. Do you think if the garlic was much more accessible, given the relationship you have with Reina, that you would actually go through making it more often?
No, because it is a pain in the butt to make. Do you know how much prepping is involved? You have to first peel every little clove of garlic, then you have to take the middle root out of each of those garlics, and we're dealing about 200, 300 cloves at this point. I love using the excuse of, well, it's not that available, to not make it as much. And also it makes it special. It wouldn't be special anymore. And then we couldn't miss it. We couldn't be fond of it because we wouldn't be missing it. Poor Alice and Allison. That's what I call my garlic clove masher peeler thing.
You just named your garlic masher peeler Allison.
Yep.
I have no further questions. I'm just going to be off screen dying. Don't mind me. Why?
I suppose with that, I shall pass it on
To Ether.
to Ether.
The next question. To answer your question, chat, we're just going to count that as immediate +1 to the death counter if it appears on the screen, which I pray it does not. And also, before John takes your turn, I just want to note for the record, everyone, we are at $349.69. Nice. And if we could, by the end of the day, get to that goal, that would be amazing. Speaking of which, our goal is 420.69, please. And
YOLO swag 420.
go, John.
All right. That is way off center. All right, that might be slightly better.
Oh.
What does your Raina do that makes you feel neglected? I probably should have read this before this popped up. I'm not prepared. I think I'm going to build off of a previous question. One of the things that I feel neglected about from my Rain, is that she tends to only come to me when she's at her lowest points. And at other times, I am somewhat ignored, which I don't particularly approve of, but it is part and parcel with the relationship. So,
No, I have a question, but I feel like one or two other people also have questions too. I'm gonna wait a second.
Go ahead.
Do they try and make up for those moments?
I think the not really. It's more of when they're at those low moments. That's the time when all of a sudden I do get the kind words and being told how much I mean to them. But outside of that, no, not really. I usually have to go to other people in the coven for any sort of comfort, but it's one of those things that I try not to dwell on because I don't want to appear selfish.
When you feel neglected, is there anyone else you talk to? Or is it sort of just something you just keep more private?
Part of me thinks that this is Ether might actually go to Luna about this.
I mean, valid. Again, like I said, it's not like Luna doesn't have a level of like fondness for most of the people in the group. Her level of her ability to provide comfort is probably more on the left brain side of things, where she just points out a series of logical things to comfort you or like prove why you don't have to feel bad. And that's probably it. Can I think it's like one of those things where it's like might be a bit hit or miss. But since I have Luna more often than not with Sylvia, Sylvia probably has more emotional intelligence. Well, not intelligence because Luna does have it, but like more emotional availability. At like together between the two of them, they're probably relatively good at providing comfort. That's like that sweet spot between like you should feel better, the like sweet parts, and then on Luna's half, the just like, well, this, and this, and this, and this. So this, all is fine.
Yeah, because I imagine that that's the type of thing Ether will be looking for. That he is having like irrational feelings, and hearing a logical response is what he's needing. But, any other questions? Okay.
That means it goes to Luna next.
One. Ooh. Did I do it? Oh, I did it in the wrong direction. Oh, so close.
I got you.
Thank you. What is it about the coven that makes you miss your family? Oh. I think because like we said with found family, it's very often the fact that like the original family was not so welcoming. I think in this case, it wasn't that Luna's original family wasn't accepting of her. I think that actually might be the opposite. It's just they were, I think, maybe all very much like Luna in the way that like there was no level of casual intimacy. It was more of a unspoken understanding that there's really no, and also this is probably a family of like stoic hotheads like Luna. So I think having them having that unspoken thing be the norm, it might be a little bit difficult for her sometimes to deal with the more emotionally available, like in broad strokes coven, where people want to talk things out and people want, conflict resolution. Whereas like how she grew up, it was like, well, obviously I don't hate you because we had an argument, apart from Sai, I hate you. But everybody else, like in general, like she doesn't feel the need to talk everything out. That's why she also doesn't feel the need to like talk about like to Sylvia over like what the nature of their specific relationship is, because she's like, the way that it is fine. It doesn't seem like it's going to change in the future. I don't need to talk about this. But everybody else needs to talk about their feelings and share things and be on the same page. And she's like, doesn't need to do that. So I think that aspect of the coven might make her miss the days when the people around her just understood her without having to explain herself, and understood that a squabble here and there doesn't change anything, but also that she doesn't need to proclaim affection to feel it or for it to be valid and real. I think that's it. I'm also starting to see Luna as like aromantic, because I'm aromantic, and I feel like that experience can like play into the overarching theme that she has, where it's like you can be intimate and you can have a clear platonic relationship with someone that goes beyond, of course, platonic is in the name. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to address it as such, because then you fall into the like expectations of alloromantic like relationships, and that's like the whole thing you kind of don't want to have and don't want to do and don't feel comfortable with. And so I feel like, but in a coven where like the nature of the relationships is very different, not just like between the different people and the reina, but also between each other, I feel like that might be something that she struggles with, and it makes her miss being around people where that just wasn't even a topic.
Is it fair to say that in terms of in relation to the coven, there's a sense of not, if not knowing, not being able to sit into a role that's very clear for you in the same way that it was with family? Because it sounds like with family, it was like we have an understanding. This is what we do. That's it. But with the coven, there's so many personalities that could be involved that it is like a lot more of like, we have an understanding. with these 6 people. Ah, fuck. Okay. What about the other 6 people? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's another 6 people. Shit.
And then also people will change, and they don't always tell you when they change, or they might change their mind, which they're valid to do, and they get to do, but also like it's difficult to juggle and also difficult to track when that's not the way that you operate. So I definitely think that that's it. Like it's difficult to settle into the entirety of the coven. And I feel like that also is one of the reasons why there's like occasional tension, is because it might be that like a group of people within the coven don't understand why it's so hard for them to pick a role and sit in it and like adapt to like what they expect their role to be. Whereas like Luna doesn't understand what they want to put her in that box to begin with, and like have it be not the one that she's comfortable with, but the one that's most easy for them to understand. Because of course she's like, I don't care if you understand, you're gonna respect it, you're gonna deal with it. And there's inevitably going to be personalities and also just people with the backgrounds where that doesn't mesh. And that's probably one of the sources of like the spats where we end up meeting the raccoon timer.
Rack moon.
Oh my god.
Oh, look, I'm not the only one who had to look away for once.
Yeah.
Thank God.
No, I had to take a beat. I was like, yep.
Yep.
Sure was a word. Sure was a word.
That was a choice you made verbally.
To be fair, I did not come up with that. Someone in chat did, so I'm perfectly.
Bless. I think it might have been Diana or someone else, whoever did it.
They're Diana
you're-
and Morgan, I think.
Yes, whichever one of you did it, you're a monster and we love you.
You are a monster.
Is that it for questions
Yeah.
for Luna? Okay. I have drawn one more that will be sort of the final question I'm going to answer, and then we'll lead into, I think, with the time we have left, to the final card. So in light of everything that's happened, here's the last one I'm going to pull out. If I can get it to the thing. Come on, computer. I just need you to cooperate for one more second. No, I don't want you to double. I just want to click on you and move you. It is not letting me do it.
Which card do you want me to pull?
It's the third one from my set.
Okay.
There's a reason why I want that.
I'm trying to steal your card. Let me steal it.
It doesn't feel like stealing if you ask someone to let it go. It's just, this feels far less like a successful.
So now it's 2 of my, I'm guessing it's the weakness card?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to do this one last as a question before the final question. So, you know your Reina's true weakness. Do they know you know? And have you told anyone else?
I'm also trying to steal the end card so I can pull it for you.
Thank you, thank you. I think they do. They know that I know. I think it is probably one of the most bold choices that he's taken to remind me that she doesn't need me to be somebody else around them. That they're like, I'm trusting you with something that is like the most tender thing I could, which is just, I'm asking you not to straight up just kill me knowing this. And I think I'm going to also say that they don't mind if I've told anybody else, or they would not mind if I told anybody else. And I think I've told one other person. I told Luna.
Ooh. It'd be a smart choice to tell Luna, because Luna's a big fan of minding her business.
I don't think that would be the reason why she said she would do it, though.
Ooh, why?
I think she would just tell Luna, and all she would say is, regardless if anyone thinks you have a stick up your ass or not, You two have an understanding. It's not what what I have with them, but whatever it is, make your call. However much you want to show them. But
On the one level, very appreciate. On the other level, instinctively, she went, people think I have a stick up my ass?
she just walks out the room, but if you watch her walking out the room after she says that, she just points in the direction of like the people who think you have a stick up your ass. She's like, I didn't say that. You didn't hear it from me.
Oh, you're about to cook a lot of makeup meals.
Joke's on you. I'm into that shit.
Ooh. And
yeah.
I like that. That's a very nice moment.
Yeah, but
that might come into play soon.
Yeah, I know. This is why I wanted to end with this card.
I like this.
So I was like, here's a bomb. Here's a wick. It's gonna set a lighter right here.
And
walk
away.
Yes, exactly.
And make some art with some gasoline.
Just gonna let that be around here. It's just use a bit and okay.
Make jalebi with gasoline. And if you don't know what jalebi is, for those, it's basically like funnel cake, but it's made out of a very particular batter. It's really, really crispy and really sweet. So, you know, making circles essentially is what I meant.
Look what you've done, Diana. This is what you've brought on all of us.
Mm-hmm.
You did this. You caused this.
But thank you.
Damn it. Casually, goddamn, there is an actual death counter. Right. Fuck you all.
Oh my god.
Fuck you all of you, all of you. Damn it.
Oh my god, there's actually an
yes, there is an actual counter. That's why I got upset.
I just noticed it. Oh my goodness.
I'd say fuck y'all, but I
think it's missing like one or two more that was prior to the stream.
Here, let's just do it for fair. There. There's two. Add it to the list. There's 5. We're at our actual amount.
Oh my god.
Big shout out to the producers. Hamna, first time, you're doing an amazing job.
Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
I will remember this for our home game, Hamna. You think the sin will go uncontested?
Oh my god.
If no one has any other questions to that answer, I think we can move to our final question to address, which, Mariam, when you have the means to do that, yeah, Angela will remember this. Yeah, it's just if there's some point where I'm ever get good enough production, I'm just gonna add in the like Telltale Games text logo of like X character will remember this at any given point I can. I'll remember this. But the final card. The hunters are here for your reine. Do you take the final bite and fight along with your beloved? I think this one, it's just whoever just treated as open would like to answer first.
I can go first. I'll jump on that emotional bomb. So yes, I do, because it's already been established. I truly believe in vampires. And I believe, like, regardless of my feelings for the Reina, my beloved in this instant is Reina, but not in the way that perhaps is conventionally thought of. It's our entire family. Like, if I don't fight with whatever advantages I have, our family might perish, because most of us are mortals. And if I can help make sure that doesn't happen, I will happily take it, but also I actually truly want to be a vampire. So yes.
I can go next. So I had to change my music, so like because Juice by Lizzo came on, and I was like, good vibe, not the vibe for right now. Luna, upon learning this, would I think leave. She's going to deny the bite because she doesn't want to spend eternity not being herself. And she never got that feeling from Lorena that she really could. And so she would probably approach Sylvia and ask her to come with her. Whether or not that works, I'm not sure, but she would try. And she would tell Miriam that she was leaving. She'd probably give Saya a goodbye punch in the face because now she doesn't have to worry about group dynamics. She's like, oh, you, bye. You have annoyed me for the last time. But but I think she would let the ones she's close to know in the moment. She's like, no, 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 I'm leaving. So yeah, that's Luna.
I think I have an answer. I think Ether would stay. Well, it's like there are some reservations on his part, but ultimately, and it's probably really sad if he actually thought about it, but a lot of the reasons issues he had was being neglected when she wasn't at her lowest, but when he sees everyone else leaving, he kind of feels like that won't be an issue anymore if it's just the two of them. It won't be the neglect because there wouldn't be any competition for his Rihanna's attention, what true or not. It's just, but like I said, it's kind of a little sad, really. But that would be Ether's reasoning.
I think Meaty would take the bite and would help fight. I think though there is an element of I think for her there's a sense in which maybe she feels like she could take over at one point.
Ooh.
Not because I think she necessarily has everyone's affection or love the same way that everyone else did, but I think in her mind, I don't think this is necessarily true entirely, but I think there's an element to, at least for how she sees it, that Reina lets her feel like she could be that kind of person. I think it's a case of, the best way I have to put it is when I think about describing what's the best feeling about being with one of my own partners, it's the sense of like, I never feel like I have to ask whether I am a broken person who is being fixed. There's nothing like that. There's nothing so condescending or so trivializing. There is actually just the best parts of me get to come out more often. And I think that's kind of how she sees her connection to Reine and what her role in the coven is. Just that. It's just like, we have a raccoon, we have some neglected folk, we have some folks who are having tensions, we have some folk who are flirtatious, we have all these personalities, but this is family. We have people take over when need be, and I think she sees herself as that. Whether or not she's entirely delusional and thinking so is a whole nother matter entirely. But I think she, with being told something so tender, like someone's being like, you could kill me like right now and I would not necessarily be mad, that's just your choice. I think she feels like she can do the impossible, which would be in her mind taking over. So I think she would take the bite with a sense of patience of like, I've seen people hold pettiness and shade for many, many years now. I think I can do this even longer if need be. But yeah. Spite unto undeath and eternity. But also love, because as the game is also very much about love as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with that being the case, that brings us to the end of our game of Que la Vida Vale. It is a fantastic game that we've had the chance to take in a very unexpected direction from what I was initially thinking. And I think it's appropriate that instead of at the beginning of this, that I end the official part of the game by reading the sort of quote that comes at the beginning of this book, of this PDF for this game, which is song lyrics from Natalia Lafourcade from the song Que la Vida Vale, and it's, lo que quiero decir es que la vida vale, porque la vida vale hay que vivir. Which, for folks who don't understand this, what I want to say is life is worth it. Because life is worth it, you must live. You must enjoy. You must relish. And perhaps living is not necessarily because of love. But sometimes it's enough on some days to get you through. But with that being the case, thank you so much to our fantastic cast of players here. Thank you to Diana Moon for creating this wonderful game that has so much depth to it. And full disclosure, For the Queen is one of my favorite games of all time. And to see really anyone do a take on it always brings me so much happiness. And this is right up my alley for the kinds of subject matter to deal with, because my brand now also includes playing every For the Queen game on Utopia. So there is that. But yes, let's take some time for folks to go around, say who you are, where we can find you, any hype we can give to your current projects, or any things you might be coming up with that you can talk about, because I know we have folks who sometimes have NDA stuff as well. But if someone would like to take the initiative on that, or I can always just make it even more awkward and force you to have to talk at this moment. But
I can start us off and to save the awkwardness. But yeah, I have been Brandy Rose. I played Luna, who I fully fallen in love with as a character to play, and I hope I get to bring her back for something later on. You guys can find me on Twitter at the Brandy Rose, which is where I update everything. Also, I didn't mention it earlier, but I am one of the contributing writers for the new City of Mist Mechanics game from Son of Oak Studios, Queers RPG. So please help us reach all of our stretch goals so that I can bring you guys a bunch of villains, a bunch of characters, and a bunch of adventures. The more the merrier. My newest show, Eat Crit, premieres October 1st. Everywhere you can get your podcasts, links and stuff are in my link tree in the chat. If you want to keep up with me, social media is the best way to do so. I had a great time, and you guys will see me again tonight on Utopia as well.
fantastic. Yes, who would like to go next?
I guess I can go. I'm John. I'm on Twitter, Sleepy, Sleypy. I'm on the Redacted Files podcast and on a project coming up playing Fallout RPG that hopefully will be announcing soon. And hopefully once I get my Instagram unlocked, I'll have more art on it. So
Fantastic. Passing on over to Mariam, or you feel
Yeah.
up to going? All right,
Yeah, I
give it a go.
can go. I'm just right now playing the the link race on chat. So yeah, hi everyone, I'm Mariam. I go by they them pronouns. I played Moon in this wonderful, delightful game, and you can find me lurking here on Utopia. And I guess the one thing I can is we have the rest of this wonderful charity marathon stream happening where you'll see me again in a couple of hours playing How Do You Do Fellow Humans, which is a wonderful game I'm so excited to play. And also I will be next week being a player in a game I wrote for this jam, Flats and Fangs, which will be on Friends Who Roll Dice, their charity stream. And also, I aside from Utopia, I am a co-host with wonderful Jeremy and Kristen on their Super Geek, and we're going to be playing a really wonderful game this coming Thursday. Check out Taz Geek's Twitter for more details. And yeah, that would be moi. I will pass it on to our wonderful facilitator for today, Angela.
Hello there, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to tune in and watch us be chaos bots and food dunkers and strong opinion havers. No raisins. No raisins.
Yeah, I like raisins. I have them in biryani. They're really good.
Okay, no raisins in
No
potato
raisins
salad.
in potato salad.
Okay,
No raisins.
we'll make
no
that
mayo.
distinction. No
Yeah.
raisins, no mayo. This is the
Fair.
thing. But hello there, everyone. I am Angela. If you do not know me, one, I use she, her pronouns, and also I wear a lot of hats, depending on the context. So let me see if I can go through the whole list. I am a professional writer and poet over on Philosophem, my Patreon, where I have currently, I believe my last count was 208 poems currently posted on there, half of which are available for public viewing. I am also available if you happen to check out Rooted in Rights, Disabled Writers Fellowship blogs posts I've written there over the past couple of years. I am a musician, freelance musician. If you check over the streams that just happened in this past season for the All Nerds Here streaming channel, I was responsible for both of the themes that were used for both of those shows. And I believe I've written for something for Mariam a little while ago. I am, let me see if I can remember all these things. I am actual play streamer both on Utopia for our Cape and Blade series, playing the Chimera RPG written by another one of our fantastic folks in the Utopia community, as well as over just finished being a GM for the Animon Story RPG that we ran for All Nerds Cheers past season for our Access Code Animon series that we did over there, where I just basically got to be a 90s kid and make a whole bunch of Digimon. Sorry, Animon. Same thing. And also really excited to also announce that because it's been officially announced, I am part of the Slayers Almanac project that along with a few other friends of mine and I believe community members like our own Chadu, Cherry Dropperoo, and also Knitnack, Kevin Wynn, who both fantastic folk, and a few other folks from other places. I am excited to get to contribute with that because I also did, as a game designer, 17 playbooks for the Slayers RPG system based off of Final Fantasy, which even one of the folks here got to play test and get an earlier look at one version of it and revamped all of it just based off feedback. So yeah, I'm on that. And I'm also writing my own current game that's tentatively titled Flame in the Abyss, where you work to process a loss you've suffered and escape a place of fractured memories and emotions. I have a brand. It's Big Feels and more Big Feels. But thank you everyone for contributing to our fund. We have, I'm sad, only partially. It was 369.69, but a few seconds ago, now it is 389.69. Nice. And we are almost there to our goal of 420.69. Blaze it. And thank you, everyone, for your time, for supporting BIPOC stories and very alternate takes on just what the canon is, and looking at even just something like vampires. There have always been multiple kinds of stories for the things that we think are homogenized, and most of the stuff you tend to think of as very white, probably usually not actually white in its origin, or really most of the stories you see, there is always another story. And here on Utopia, we provide so many of those different stories, and we have fantastic folks. Thank you to everyone who gave you your time today, and we look forward to you seeing more of the games of our fantastic community of game designers, players, creators, and just folks who like to be silly and big feelsy, or really, really gay or sweating and bisexual, as I am frequently doing in this community. It's a thing. But take care, everyone, and we wish you
Can I
well until the next
quickly
game.
interject of
Yes, yes.
just really big quick shout out to the wonderful art, diverse vampires. That is a collaboration of many wonderful artists in our community, and the portrait that you see is from that collection, and there's a link in chat to go check that out. And also big thank you to Hamna, our wonderful producer. And our next game will be Red Delicious. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you, everybody. I was also just remembering, yes, thank your producers. There's a reason why we actually have shows. A lot of it is because of your producers. Take care of them. Praise them. They deserve it. They so deserve it. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you real soon for the next game. Take care.
Bye.